Rather large, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Arsenal News Now, Christmas edition. Welcome back. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. And before we get into it, Merry Christmas from this side. Merry Christmas to Cossy's Arsenal podcast followers, and Merry Christmas to everyone who will watch this video. Please give me a Christmas like. That will make my Christmas a little bit better. 300 likes on this video. That is what I need for Christmas. Is that too much to ask for? Just for Christmas, 300 likes on this video and we get the party rolling. But of course, on a serious note, Merry Christmas. Enjoy your days really responsibly. But of course, we're going to be discussing lots of stuff. ESPN, they're confirming that Lacazette and Arsenal are now in bed. We will actually try to resist all offers for Alexandre Lacazette until the end of the season. However, the player is free to talk to clubs abroad because it is January and he's only left with 6 months on his contract. We're going to be looking at that and probably what Arsenal could do in that situation. The Sports, again in Spain, confirming that Mikel Arteta is a big fan of Philippe Coutinho, and if there is an opportunity, if there is a window for Coutinho to join Arsenal, it will actually happen. Arsenal also linked with a cheaper option in terms of a striker, and that is Yusuf L Nasri at Sevilla. Of course, this is not the first time we've heard of Yusuf L Nasri. I'm going to be diving into that as well. Why are we being linked with Serge Gnabry? I'm going to give you a hint of why Bayern might actually let go of Serge Gnabry. He is in his last year of his contract. Can he join Arsenal? Can he not join Arsenal? We'll be discussing that in this video. Saka and Martinelli to sign until 2027. Another big point in the video. And of course, a couple of others. Jack Wilshere there to replace, to come in and replace Thomas Partey. And of course, Renato Sanchez cleared for Arsenal transfer. Why not tighten your seatbelts? It's a lot of action in this video. In the next 20 minutes, we're going to be discussing lots and lots of stuff. So let's get the part started by reminding you that we are sponsored by the beautiful people from Melbet. Check the link in the description. It will take you there to their website. Sign up with them. Use my promo code Cossy and you'll be able to win 300% bonus on your first deposit. Please bet responsibly because your capital can go up as well as down, and make sure you're above the age of 25 as you try to place your bets. Let's get into the content. Now, let's start off with the Alexandre Lacazette. Indeed, ESPN have actually come out and confirmed that Alexandre Lacazette and Arsenal at the moment are on the same page. Arsenal will try to resist any offers for Alexandre Lacazette come January. Of course, we know a couple of clubs are interested in Alexandre Lacazette. Atletico Madrid, they're being the stubbornest clubs, being in the stubbornness of all those clubs, being the really big problem for Arsenal. But according to ESPN, Arsenal will try to resist all offers for Alexandre Lacazette in January. Absolutely, it makes a lot of sense. In January, we don't have Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. We'll have only true strikers, and that is Edin Ketia and of course Alexandre Lacazette. Balogun is set to leave on loan for a championship club. It could be Middlesbrough. As far as I know, according to Chris Whitley, he says Middlesbrough could be the club that actually take him. Of course, according to The Athletic, they have confirmed that there is an agreement between Balogun and Arsenal and a couple of other Arsenal players there in the under-23s to go out there and get some experience. So The Athletic and Chris Whitley from Football.London can confirm that Balogun will not be playing with us in January, but also starting January until the end of the season, but on loan to another club, either in the Championship or in the Premier League. We wait to see what's going to happen. But again, like I said, that means he is the only player now we can trust as a number 9. At the moment, we can't let him go. Of course, I was a little bit on the wall a couple of months ago when I said Alexandre Lacazette should be leaving the club, and I'm not really going to change a lot, a lot in that, of my opinion, on that point. In the summer, if Arsenal can get in prolific strikers, if we can get in very good forwards, then Lacazette and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, yes, we can deal away with them because we have some, we've had departments. The goalkeeper is new, the defense, all our back line is new. Why can't our front line as well be new as well? So of course, their lads, Lacazette is much needed at Arsenal. We can't afford to lose him. Currently, the team is playing around him. The team is really creating a lot of chances for him. And all the progression, all the better football we are seeing going forward forward from Arsenal. It is courtesy of that man there, the big man with the big beard there, Alexandre Lacazette. So Arsenal will try, and they will not listen to any offers for the player in January. But of course, there is that very, very intimidating fact that he can talk to any other club abroad in January. Of course, it is the law. It is legal for a player who's left with 6 contracts on his his 6 months on his contract to talk to any other club in January. It is by law. It is absolutely right. So if he talks to any other club in January and agrees to join them in the summer for free, where do we go from there? I would love to see how Arsenal handle that. But for now, what I can confirm there is that Alexandre Lacazette offers will be rejected by Arsenal in January. Of course, moving on, in Spain, Philippe Coutinho is wanted by Mikel Arteta. Now, according to the Sport, at first it was the El Nacional that actually broke the story, and they said Barcelona are willing to offer Coutinho and Dembele in a swap deal for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. And because we said no, Coutinho injury prone, very big wages and things like that, we do not need him close to the squad. As the same story for Ousmane Dembele. El Nacional, of course, they're really controversial, but the Sport in Spain again are coming out and confirm that Mikel Arteta loves Philippe Coutinho, and he says if there is an opportunity, if there is an opening for Arsenal to get Philippe Coutinho, they will be acting on that deal. They will be actually moving in for Philippe Coutinho. Now, it is really interesting how these things are actually turning around. Look, I thought Coutinho was much of talk around just Arsenal, but it looks like the manager Mikel Arteta has never forgotten about Philippe Coutinho. Of course, we know that joining Arsenal, one of the first signings he was looking at was Philippe Coutinho. He wanted Coutinho, he wanted Aouar, he wanted Thomas Partey as well. Those are the 3 midfielders he was actually talking about. This time, he didn't get Aouar, he did get Martin Odegaard, and of course, he got Albertson Lekonga and Partey there in the midfield. But it is also still being rumored that Philippe Coutinho's time to play for Arsenal has not yet passed. According to the Sport, Mikel Arteta is interested in Philippe Coutinho and will try to take any opportunity there is available to get the player at the Emirates Stadium. I'm not going to really comment about this because I've already said Coutinho, wages, age, and injury prone, and the injury prone record. I can't say anything more than that. But anyway, if he joins Arsenal in January, maybe he could add something to our club. But even if he doesn't join, I wouldn't really miss such a signing of Philippe Coutinho. Now again, moving on, lads, in terms of strikers, we are being linked with another 2 big names there. Of course, not very big names, but of course they're strikers, and they could join Arsenal. Number 1 is Yusuf L Nasri. Now, a couple of reports are suggesting that Arsenal, if we miss out on Dusan Vlahovic, we might actually decide to go for cheaper options. We might decide not to spend 60-70 million on a striker. If it is not Dusan Vlahovic, we might actually spend or go cheap. And now Yusuf El Nasri, the striker at Sevilla, again back in the news, linked with Arsenal Football Club as one of those players that could actually see themselves playing at the carpet there in London. What do you think, people, about Yusuf El Nasri? He's a good player, I think, but for me, he's not at that standard. I don't see him, as a player that is really at the standard. Last season, banged in a couple of goals. This season already, he started, banging in a couple of goals. But do I think Arsenal will, should go for Yusuf El Nasri? No, I think we should go for this second option, and that is Ivan Toney. Now, again, reports are back in the news saying Ivan Toney could be the player that Arsenal go for if they decide again to go for a cheaper option in the Premier League. Of course, we know a couple of strikers have been linked with Arsenal there in the Premier League, starting with DCL at Everton, and also including, or should I say, incorporating the likes of Oli Watkins as well, linked with Arsenal. Ivan Toney, one of the latest strikers linked with Arsenal. I said it yesterday, and I'll say it again. With Ivan Toney, I do not have a problem if we get him absolutely okay. I'm very, very okay with that there. I think he's a good number 9. I think he's a good player who can be in that box, who can bully defenders, who can actually, tap those chances at home. And that's what we need. We just need a striker who is prolific. We just need a striker who's gonna take those chances. We just need a striker who's going to make our creativity really count. Can Ivan Toney do it? Yes, he did it last season. In the championship. Of course, Dusan Vlahovic is also doing it right now. In Italy with Fiorentina. But of course, last season, Ivan Toney scoring goals for fun, promoting Brentford there in the Premier League. Do you take Ivan Toney right now? I don't think he's on fire. He's a little bit down. Of course, jumping from the championship to the Premier League. It's a very, very different kind of test. The opponents you're playing, they're so different. Of course, the players around you, the quality that is around you, facing those opponents is also insufficient. I think Ivan Toney, if you can find a team with good creativity, with better players, with a better level, of players, I think Ivan Toney can become a good striker. But anyway, let me know down there in the comments below, lads, what do you think about Ivan Toney to Arsenal? I'll be waiting for your response. Now, our youngsters, Saka and Martinelli, are both set to sign long-term contracts until 2027. A couple of clubs have actually come out and they have started their nonsense of pointing fingers to our players. First and foremost, Real Madrid there pointing to Gabriel Martinelli, and now Barcelona are pointing to Charlie Patino. Of course, reports there indicating the Barcelona would love to take that Charlie Patino at the new club. Absolute nonsense, absolute nonsense. These players are known for so. This is the future of Arsenal Football Club. I wish they knew. So what is happening there is that Arsenal, in terms of in an attempt which you'd call a precautionary measure, what we are trying to do is get these lads to sign new long-term contracts, and it could be happening very, very soon, starting with Martinelli, starting with the likes of Saka, and then also the likes of Charlie Patino signing long-term contracts. I think it's a very, very good thing to do because we cannot at the moment we can't at any point in time lose or afford to lose any of our players, any of our youngsters. At the moment, we can't afford to do that. So what is happening there? Charlie Patino to Barcelona, interest is there. And of course, I'm not really surprised that Barcelona are interested in Charlie Patino. He is a very, very good player. He's a very strong midfielder. He's one of the players that you believe the future is very, very bright. If they can get him and add him to Pedri, add him to Gavi, they're gonna have a wonderful, wonderful future there, at Barcelona. So in my opinion, lads, let us give these players long-term contracts to be safe, because you better be safe than sorry. That is the road we should be taking. Because we've lost a couple of players because of our stupidity in terms of contracts. Some players have left on a free transfer, and I was asking myself, where was Arsenal? Why didn't we get these things done earlier? I think we're trying to do that under Edu. We're trying to give these players long-term contracts. We're trying to give them that kind of environment that you are needed. You are much needed here at Arsenal. Please stay with us. So Martinelli until 2027, Saka until 2027, and Charlie Patino as well should be signing until 2027. I will be absolutely happy with that. But of course, guys, the mistake we did, could we actually have a way back with Serge Gnabry? There is a possibility. But it is very, very narrow. At least for now, it is still very, very narrow. Now, to start off, lads, with what is happening around Serge Gnabry, a couple of reports there are flying around that either Kingsley Coman or Serge Gnabry will be left to leave Bayern Munich, as there Rafinha will be joining them. A deal has been agreed in principle with Leeds. 50 million euros will be the money, will be the price that actually Bayern pay to get Rafinha there at the Allianz Arena. Of course, we know that Rafinha is one of those interesting wingers there. In world football at the moment, he can't be playing for Leeds all his time. He can't be playing for Leeds even next season. It would be massively impossible. He's gonna be moving to Bayern, at least according to what I know. He's gonna be moving there to Bayern. What are your thoughts there? Do you think Rafinha should have moved to a Premier League club? Because he's gonna be moving for only 50 million euros. For me, Arsenal getting rid of Nicola Pepe. Why didn't we try to get a player like Rafinha? We were linked with him, not really serious, but of course there are other players there. We have that guy Anthony at Ajax, very, very impressive. If we do not, even if we do not get Rafinha, from Leeds, we can try maybe to get the likes of Anthony there from Ajax. But of course, what I can say here is that Serge Gnabry is in the news, and many Arsenal fans there excited about him coming back to the carpet because he's really, really impressive. We know how impressive he is. We know how good he has become over there. Ever since leaving Arsenal and going to Bayern, how much of an improvement has he got? 100% better than the player we let go around 3, 4, 5 years ago. I think Arsenal know they made a massive mistake. Arsenal know they made a big problem. Can Serge Gnabry come back to Arsenal? There is a big question there. Did we treat him right? Did we treat him wrongly? I do not know. I cannot actually really answer that. But what I can say, if there is an opportunity, even once, because his contract is running down in the summer, Bayern will try to give him a new contract, as I understand. But if they do not, if they decide to sell him, Arsenal 100% we should be going in for Serge Gnabry. Yes, we have enough wingers. That is what you're gonna tell me. But Serge Gnabry for me is another quality player, another caliber at another level. Really, if you have Saka, Gnabry, Martinelli, and Odegaard with Smith Rowe in the mix, Charlie Patino also knocking on the door, we will have a big project. So anyway, Serge Gnabry to the carpet, really unrealistic, but I would be excited to see the boy back there at Arsenal. Renato Sanchez has been cleared to join Arsenal. Everything is now in the hands of Arsenal. I've spoken about that, and I'll say it again. It is now clear where Lille stand, very, very clear. Where Renato Sanchez stands, very clear. He would love to join the Premier League. He would be very okay to join Arsenal. It is now in the hands of Arsenal Football Club to either get in Renato or drop the deal away. And finally, Super Jack could be the alternative to Thomas Partey and Mohamed Elneny. Now, of course, Mikel Arteta did come out and was speaking about what the situation is, is like, and he was saying maybe in January we might not get enough money, enough time to negotiate these deals, and of course it happens all the time in January. But he said we will see what is available and we will see what is best for the team. Now, according to what I have learned and what I've seen, Jack Wilshere could be that man that's gonna sign a 6-month long contract, contract, short-term contract to sign for Arsenal and play for us until the end of the season. What do you think there, lads? Is it is something we should do? Is it something we should not do? Let me know down in the comments below, and I promise I'll speak to you very soon. The starting lineup tomorrow against Norwich is coming up. Of course, Mikel Arteta's press conference will be reacting to that as well, and more transfer news as we go through Christmas. Merry Christmas, yes, yet again, and I'm gonna say keep safe. Make sure you do not do anything that is harmful to your health. I'll speak to you in the next one.